Howdy everyone, Pocho here with an Age of Magic video, and in today's video, Playcott are giving me the opportunity to test the newest faction currently in the game, the Guardians of the Galaxy, against some of the current meta squads that we are seeing in Arena and Tournament. Now keep in mind there are 3 heroes from this faction currently available. We have Omphis the Leader, Impus the Healer, and Skara the Range Damager. They are already in the game, you can see them. Now, the other 2 characters on the screen, Siri and Sekman, are not currently available. They are next to be released for the faction, but they cannot be seen within the game yet. So until they are released, or until Playcott make an official announcement about them, anything you see in this video about these 2 heroes can be changed, so please keep that in mind. The next thing to keep in mind is that every skill available to be awakened is awakened. So for the Guardians, that is every hero on the team has their awakening available. The enemy team, for example, only has Roxanne and Librarian. It is what is currently live in the game. That is how the game is moving forward. So that is what we are going to test at. So please keep that in mind. And the fights will be done at gear level 13. So we have also been given the opportunity to talk a little bit about these 2 unreleased heroes and what they are capable of, but let's talk about the theme of the team, the Guardians. The Cloud Wanderers are a perfect example to compare these heroes to, as the Cloud Wanderers are a faction that rely heavily on the buffs they acquire during the fight to become stronger, whereas the Guardians require very little buffing and they do not buff themselves much during the fight at all. Their strength is already inbuilt to their skills, and their strength is pretty much the foundation of the faction. They are already strong. This is to counter things like magic absorption, for example, that can strip buffs and debuffs. And again, they don't really depend on debuffs on the enemy as well. They are just a brutal force of nature straight off the bat. Now, Siri is the rogue of the faction. You can see her basic ability there. She's very efficient in damage, very efficient, and she also has that parry ability that Yuki has. She can redirect damage back to the people that attack her, and Sekman is the tank of the faction, and he is a tank. I promise you that. He can do amazing things, such as completely negating damage, and he can redirect damage from an ally to himself and then lower that damage as well. He doesn't have to rely on taunting. He just is straight up mitigating as much damage as he can throughout the fight, just passively. So keep that in mind. A very interesting faction, very strong, and like I said, does not rely on debuffs and buffs for their strength. So let's play around with the faction and what they are capable of. I'm not going to go into great detail about the skill set. There are multiple ways you can use them, but for this team, for example, I'm going to go for the AoE approach. Many of these characters have AoE damage. As you can see, big AoE damage from the Suri here. We get some support from Omphis, and again, Omphis has an AoE attack as well, which we're going to use to try and take out this Librarian on the side. And then we have Skara again, who has AoE damage, and we're looking for that damage on the Librarian. Are we going to be able to get it? No, we do not. That's a bit scary, but it's okay. It's okay. We take out the Astoria. The Librarian goes for the Black Mirror. He does cast it. Like I said, we do not rely heavily on buffs or debuffs, so it's not super effective against us. We're going to get a little bit of damage back on us from the Roxanne, but this team does have initiative reduction protection. It's not constant. There is a condition to it. It comes from Omphis. Just keep that in mind. We can go ahead and take out the Roxanne here quite quickly. Oh no, she hangs in there. She hangs in there. We have our big boy. We're going to go ahead and place a shield on us. Just get a little bit of strength back into the team. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to use my basic here. Dodge, 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 sneaky, sneaky. But Omphis should go up. She's protected, and come on, let's get her. There we go, beautiful. I'm going to go ahead, and we have no Canopic Jars on the team. Performs a magic attack. Damage is increased per debuff on the target. Yeah, we should do a lot of damage with this. We should. What are we going to do? But we did get HP reduction here. That's good as well. There we go. Okay, he's still hanging in there. Still hanging in there. Let's go to a 2x speed here. We get some counter. We get the elimination. And then we have the 1 character left. Now, Eva still is capable of doing a lot of damage, but we should be fine here. If we can time this right, I think we may be able to eliminate, execute her. I don't think we have... No, I think we're going to get a resurrect here. Oh, no. Siri goes next. She resurrects. That's okay. It's a shame. There was the opportunity to potentially execute her there with the Impus. We missed it. That's okay, though. We're going to go ahead and use our big ability. We lose our Impus. That's fine, though. We got the Canopic Jar on the field. We should be able to take out this Ramfit before he starts getting his buffs back out. And then we're back on the Roxanne. We've got our Impus back because we killed a target. When an enemy dies, a Canopic Jar will resurrect, and the Impus came back there. So there you go. Very interesting faction. Their skill set does allow you to use them in multiple ways depending on who you're fighting. But as you can see, they have very little buffs on themselves. They relied very little on debuffs. They are just raw power. So, yeah. How are we going to counter this? Things like just tanky factions that can just take a lot of damage. You need to verse them with a team that just has survivability, that can hang on there. But then keep in mind as well that you have threats like Impus that can just slowly take away your max HP until you're really no longer a threat. But there we go against the Librarian Cloud Wanderers. We'll go up against the Van Norse, and then we'll go up against a Tristan team as well and see how they stack up. These fights will be very, very quick, but it's just to showcase the power of the Guardians.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy.